And hello, everyone. It is Thursday night, and it's been a long time since I've actually been able to say that it's a Thursday night with Trusty's Vintage Live Sale. I'm back. I don't know how often I'm going to be back, but I'm back. So, for those who might have watched, follow my social media, I hadn't been doing as much of it on YouTube. You might know the reason I was gone was I was doing some community theater. I was in the stage version of Clue, which is the one based on the movie. And I was playing the Tim Curry role. So I was basically in every rehearsal. I had to be there. So I just didn't have a lot of free time. And plus, I'm traveling a little bit for work. So we threw all that stuff together. It meant some of the live online stuff was not happening. So this week, I'm not traveling. I'm not in shows. And I decided to go ahead and have a sale. So I can't say that it's going to be a regular thing. It might be, might not be. Who knows? I'm hearing from some other people that, the world is opening back up. Yay. Which means not as many people are home to even support eBay and Etsy and some of these live sales. So it's one of those cases. I want it to be fun. And I just have some stuff that I kind of had collected over time, and I have that to sell. I've been trying to do some Instagram sales, been trying to do some drop sales on YouTube. That are not as much fun because I like to be able to interact with people. And the person we are going to all be interacting with in addition to me this evening is my voice from above. Tonight it's Nate. The voice from above is from down under. How you doing, Nate?
Hey, Patrick. Good. I'm really good. Nice to see you back. If you hear
Great to be here. Great to have you back as well, helping out with the chat. Appreciate you coming in and actually being my voice from behind the scenes. And we're going to see who we've got in the chat. Elderly Poodle snuck in first and said hello. Dawn has joined us. And for those who do not know Dawn, she is not a reseller, but she is the woman behind the Just One More Dachshund Rescue. And I did specifically wear a black hat this evening, and I doffed my hat to Dawn. Unfortunately, she's lost two of her senior dachshunds this week. So she lost Rosalita earlier in the week, and she lost Sherman this week. And both Rosalita today, she lost Sherman. So both Rosalita and Sherman have been on my channel as we do the fundraiser for the Just One More Dachshund Rescue. Sherman was in the Dog Bowl on the Super Bowl Sunday. He's in the Dog Bowl Hall of Fame. So he has some pedigree with him. And unfortunately, getting older, but Dawn is an amazing human and makes sure that those dogs have a wonderful life up to the last day. So thanks for joining, Dawn. I hope we get I'm going to say that because it's important to say that people support you, but then we're not going to talk about it again because tonight needs to be fun for you. And I'm about to cry. So we need to stop this and move on to say hello to Poodle. We're talking dogs again. So we got hello Poodle, but we got Chad also from Maryland. Dawn is also from Maryland. So Chad is another chirp stater. We've got Sandy coming in for Sandy Lilac coming in from Michigan.
Hi, Sandy.
Sherry coming in. Karen bringing in the West Coast. Debbie from Chicago coming in from my neighborhood. We got the overseas contingent coming in from Amelia from Miliart. Thanks so much for, let's see, it'd be either really, really late for you or really, really early. I think we've determined it's super early in the morning. Like you're just an early morning person, which I don't understand. Trisha from Mayberry Caboodles. Kara's coming in from Georgia. Let's see. Trying to do this without my cheaters, which is becoming harder. I just changed my contact prescription, and it is definitely screaming, you are old and you need to wear bifocals. Tiger has joined us. And let's see who else.
Chad's here as well. And Sherry.
Sherry. Chad from also from Maryland. Val, I can't remember where Val is from. Suzu's, and she just told me, I think she's in Texas. And Tammy Renee Walker is in Florida. Hi, Tammy Renee and Linda. Hope Linda's there with you.
Hi, Tammy.
All right. So it's a short, I'm going to be a little, there we go. 3 a.m. I need to remember my European math. So either you're a very late night owl, which I respect. I'm not as much of a late owl as I used to be, but I'm certainly still not a morning person. So you're just kind of hovering in the middle. So I appreciate you joining in and hanging out with us tonight. It's going to be a relatively short sale because if you had not caught some of the social media promotions that were going on, Nate has gotten himself into reselling. So he's caught the bug. He's actually willing to let go some of the things that he finds for his own shiny objects that he's letting them go back out in the world.
It's
So was it last? Oh, I missed Buying Space. Hi, Buying Space. It's just be a mix of vintage. So I'll show it as we go. I don't. If you've seen some of the other live sales, it kind of works like that. The biggest thing for my sales is I do not. Hey, Delbert, I do not do auctions. So I will just give you the item, the price, and the first person to claim it is the one that will get it. Oh yeah, Tanya Renee, the brooch. You've gotten the brooch bug, Nate.
Yeah,
but he's selling his brooches. So you did that. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? You did the first sale.
It was last week. I think.
Just last week. Okay.
It's a little bit of a blur.
That's what happens. And you are then doing another sale tonight. So that will be on Pamela Blanchard's channel. I think on YouTube. On YouTube, she's Pamela Blanchard, right?
Yep, that's right.
On Instagram, she's Oak Grove Mercantile. On YouTube, you find her under Pamela Blanchard. If we get a chance, we'll drop the chat. Tim coming in from Canada. Just jump today, Tim. We will drop the link so people can find that. That will be in about 90 minutes. So I will make sure we finish the sale here. I only have 15 items, so it shouldn't take long. But I've set my timer just to be sure and make sure people can go over and nab some of the brooches. That Katie will be there on Pam's channel as well. So it'll be Katie, Nate, and Pamela doing the brooch sale. So
hey, charming Tim.
Who else do we say hi?
Just Tim, to your phone.
Oh, Tim. Yep. Hello. All right. So I'm going to start. We were talking about social media. So I do sometimes. I've been out of practice since I really haven't had a live sale in a while. But I was trying to promote some of the items that I'm putting out for sale tonight. And one of them was question mark. And Tiger came in with the answer, as well as Rick Reese came in with the answer as well. So I'm not going to tell you the answer. I'm going to show you the question. Does anyone know what this is? So it's two pieces. I bought them not 100% sure. I mean, I knew that they were related because they both have the same design. I wasn't 100% sure that they fit together, but it does seem to fit. There's a little bit of a liner in this one that seemed to make this kind of a nice snug fit, but this one didn't have a liner. We couldn't figure out what they were, or I couldn't figure out what they were. And I did Google lens and I could not find anything, but I think it was because of the way I took the picture. I took them separate. I didn't actually ever do a picture with them together. Maybe that would have helped. But we actually have a couple of correct answers. We have Dawn with the incorrect answer. A couple of people had mentioned that. But looks like Amelia and Poodle both came in with the right answer. It is a German pipe. It is a porcelain pipe. And I found a couple of people sent pictures of them. Tiger had sent their German Black Forest porcelain pipes. And what was throwing me was the shape of this bottom. I had considered maybe it was a pipe, but I couldn't figure out if this were supposed to sit in it, how do you smoke it? So the way this Black Forest pipe design would work is instead of just having like a little pipe stem, like what we're used to, the pipe stem actually is like a foot long, like it almost turns this into what looks like a saxophone. So you'd have a very long pipe stem and then kind of the curled lip at the top. So that's what's missing from this. So, yep, Tim, you're right. It is I'm assuming that this one would be a lady's pipe just because of a very gender inconsistent definitions that this probably would have been a woman's pipe. But hey, a man could smoke it as well. And what is missing, and I don't know, from the pictures, I couldn't always tell. I'm not sure what the stem would be made out of. If it would have been clay, if it would have been wood, why it's missing. So it might have been porcelain as well. And it probably, if it's as long as the examples that Tiger showed me, it probably would have broken. And that's why when you get into like colonial American, when they do the archaeology around Williamsburg and things like that, you find all these little clay pipe pieces, because that was when it was a long pipe with a little tiny bowl at the end. They're just so long, they just break. So I'm not sure what this one would have been. So Amelia says she just tried to buy a porcelain pipe from auction, but the price went too high. It was really nice, hand painted fox. Oh, cool. So, and I agree, Patricia. It is kind of bizarre looking, but it's amazingly in good condition. The painting is not like super, super detailed, and it looks like, as I just did that close up, it looks like maybe the petals on this one have broken off. This side, though, they were in perfect condition. And on the bowl, well, I guess this is still considered the bowl, was also in perfect condition. And then the bowl, I had thought it was a snuff, like kind of a snuff holder. But if you look, the bowl has holes. So I guess you put the tobacco in there and light it, and then that's how you would draw air to keep it going in. So it does fit, again, with that little cork piece. So Amelia, I know you're not going to be buying anything because the shipping overseas would be far too expensive, and this is still incomplete. But I'm selling it. It's not going to go too high because, one, I don't have options, and two, I got it at a really good price, and technically it's incomplete. It's just kind of a cool item, so I'm selling it for $15. So you get the two pieces and either make your own pipe stem or just use it however you want. They're just kind of cool little pieces. Put them in a bowl. $15 for the 2/3 of the pipe. It's $23. So $15 for the two pieces that I have of the German Black Forest pipe. And definitely appreciate Tiger helping me out solving that. I put it out as a What Is It Wednesday request. And actually several people tried to help me out. And like I said, I guess it may be because of the way I did the Google Lens. I wasn't successful finding it, which usually I love Google Lens. So usually I can find a lot of stuff that way. And I actually identified a piece that I'll be selling in a bit.
Looks like Sandy at 4 Sandy's Lilacs is picking that up.
All right. Good to have you back, Sandy. Thanks for joining us.
Great buy.
Thank you for picking that up. Mud larking, that's the term. So TFAing, Poodle saying, I do watch the mud larking. So that's mud larking. Isn't that when people are walking along the Thames in London as the tide goes out? Those are the mud larkers? Is that right, Nate?
I think so. Although I think you can mudlark anywhere. In England, I think you need to get a mudlarking license if you want to go.
Oh, so it's mudlarking is just like a searching thing? I thought that was specifically for the Thames.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It could be an English term, but I think I've heard it in other reference points.
And Tim's talking about the video, so that sounds like it's more of a generic thing as well. Okay. Yeah. What's the really big channel? She's based in Pennsylvania. Crazy Lamp Lady. Yeah, so she actually started her channel with metal detecting. I don't know if that's the American version of mudlarking. But yeah, it's definitely a thing. And actually, it'd be funny because there's not that much metal on this one. I guess you could have found that piece, but in general, there's not a lot of metal. So interesting. So that is our first item. Second item. One of the things. Well, we're going to put that to the side because the tag just fell onto the table and I can't reach it. So we're going to go to this item. So this one I showed, I did a little video. I went live over the weekend. I just showed a live haul just to get some additional content up on my channel. And one of the things that I showed, Nate just had a heart attack. I took a deep breath because I have not polished this. It is hotel silver. And I did a survey, a poll on Instagram, and I asked, when you sell hotel silver, should it be polished or should the patina remain? 8 people agreed with Nate and said it should be polished, but 85% said leave it with the patina.
Oh, I just had to mute my deep sigh. I felt it coming out, and I knew, I just quickly muted myself. So that my
so I think 85% of people that voted disagreed with you, and I'm going to be a total lemming and follow them because it's easier. So I don't have to polish it. But what this is, and I actually have 3 pieces. I'm only selling one of them tonight. One of them will be going up on eBay as an auction because I think that piece is more valuable. This one is a smaller piece. It is an 8-ounce content teapot, and it is from the Hotel Orndorff in El Paso, Texas, and it's actually Gorham. So Hotel Orndorff, El Paso, Texas, Gorham, and the EP is electroplated. It also says silver soldered, which appears to be what Hotel Silver is known for. 8 ounces. I haven't figured out the numbering systems yet. Each company seems to do it a little bit differently, so I don't know if there's a definition of a date in there or not. But I found some Reed and Barton examples that does not date it. So I'm not sure if Gorham's indicates that 011492. I have no idea if that's January 14th, 1892. Can't imagine 1992, but it is a great little piece of Hotel Silver. A lot of times people pick it up for the location. So, we've got our Texans in the house. You've got El Paso, Texas. I just think it's a nice little form, and it actually has it'd have to be a great shelf sitter, or it's still functional. You could use this as an actual teapot or turn it into a creamer, children's tea set, whatever you want to turn it into. Because I'm selling this one is just going to be $15. So this is the Hotel Orndorff, El Paso, Texas, 8-ounce teapot. Silver solder, Hotel Silver, $15 by giving me number 38. $15.38 for the Hotel Silver. So Eclectic Treasure Hunters isn't Gorham, Germany. No, I think Gorham's American, aren't they?
Yeah, Gorham's an American company, as far as I know. I think they're a well-established and well-respected company too.
Yeah, and I know they do a lot in sterling. So I know they're a big name for high end, and so that's why I picked it up. Figured Gorham was something definitely people would recognize. If it doesn't sell here, I will put that up on eBay as well. I think it's cool, but that's not a collection I want to add. Oops. And as we're on our silver, these pieces are not marked because there's a bottom to them. So if I probably pry it off the bottom, I might have an actual better marking. I think these are silver plate as well. Oh, these are a pair of lyre form, harp form candlestick holders, probably from the 40s or 50s. I picked these up. I mentioned these in a show I did where I was talking about props that I was selling that I'd done in shows. I'd purchased a table that had this form as well. It was one of those flip top card tables, probably from the 40s. It had the exact same base as this centerpiece. So I think these are probably around that same era. Just chairs sometimes had these formed into the back. This is a really sweet pair. The table got damaged, and so these would have stayed with the table. Now I'm selling them on their own. So they're fairly lightweight. What's on the bottom is actually almost like a plastic of some form. It's not felt. So I have a hard time knowing exactly how old these are. You've got a little floral design. What do you say, Nate?
I love them. I think they're lovely. I love that lyre design. Classic.
I think they've just got a beautiful shape. They're relatively lightweight, but that piece down here gives it a little bit of weight on the bottom, so they're not going to tip over as easily. And these would have a narrow taper, so they've got a fairly narrow cup in the bottom. Just sweet pieces that, again, I picked them up for a theater show, so I'm just selling them for what I paid for them, basically. And so I'm turning these around at $15. So $15 for the pair of candle holders, $15 for number 56. $15.56 for the pair of candle holders.
The bargain.
And since the other piece that's sitting up here is also metallic, I was hoping Katie would be able to join us, but her schedule, she's got to get ready for the sale, and she's was traveling a lot. I'm not sure if she's actually still traveling.
I see four Sandy's lilacs for 56, Patrick. And bonus space, Patrick ships from Chicago, Illinois.
Correct. Thank you, Nate. I did not see that question.
Hi, Norma Jean. Hi, Tina.
All right, so those two go to Sandy. All right, so what I'd hoped, and maybe so you guys will have to help answer this question in Katie's absence. I did a little bit of searching on this.
Oh,
it is what I thought was, and I still do think is an older mold in the form of a lobster, but it is not solid copper. So I think this is a tin coated mold. But I don't have a lot of experience in these. So what do you know about these, Nate?
it is.
Other than you want me to polish it?
It's tin lined. It is tin lined, and I would imagine that's for something like lobster mousse or something like that.
Yeah, that's one of those nasty mold dishes that they pulled out in the 50s and 60s, where you put the salad and everything in there, and it comes out looking like a lobster.
I love it. I just love it. That would look amazing polished up, Patrick. I'm just saying.
And I will let whoever buys it do exactly what they want with it. I will say Eclectic Treasure Hunter is kind of this was purchased again for a show, and it actually went onto the wall for a very short period of time on the set, because when it got hung up, the director indicated that it no longer looked like a lobster.
I only just saw that when you said that, yeah. Tina.
So it is definitely a lobster. There's no question. That's exactly what this is. We're not working blue here, but when you look at something 30 feet away, it maybe takes on a slightly different.
Yeah.
As Delbert says, it looks like something else. So it did not get used in my last production, but that does not make it any less desirable. It is. I will say, when I went looking for this online, there are dozens of these available. So this is not a rare form. They all have the copper outside, the tin on the inside. They're all pretty much the same size. Things like that make it difficult to sell on eBay, because I don't have a big eBay presence as it is. So no one's going to find mine. So that's the type of stuff that I like to sell here. Nothing was as cheap as what I'm selling it for. Most of them were selling and definitely listed for $20 or higher. I'm going to sell it for 10. So we've got a $10 copper, and there is some age. It does still have the little, this was the other thing that threw me. I wasn't sure if the oldest ones had the hanging hook on it. So this is probably older, maybe meaning 50s. I don't think it's much older than that, but it could be. But you get it for $10. So $10 for the lobster mold by giving me number 89. $10, 89, as Buying Space says. You can say it's an Easter Island statue. Be the innocent among us.
Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl, love.
This next one happens to be a piece that also, this one actually was in a theater show. This was in...
Elderly Poodle is going to pick up that very, very cool Jello mold. Congrats.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, Poodle. This piece was in my last production of Arsenic and Old Lace. If you know the show, there's a scene toward the beginning of the show where the cops show up to pick up all of Teddy Roosevelt's box of his old toys. And this I picked up from a flea market because I thought it would look kind of like an old toy, because he's acting like Teddy Roosevelt, but it takes place in the late 30s. I was thinking this kind of had the era of the late 30s. I had a hard time researching him. There is a little tag on him that appears to be in English. It says Storehouse 2. And then at some point it was sold for 55 something, whether it's $55 or if this was another country, is whatever their money was, and then whatever an A means. There's no other tag or reference on here. His tail is just kind of like a little cotton ball tail. I don't know if he was supposed to be more of a circus pony, because he's got this decorative piece that kind of wraps around his tail. I did find an example of this on Etsy, where a horse that looked just like this was glued to a flat base on wheels and turned it into a pull toy. So I don't know if this was once a pull toy and this is now just broken off of it, or if this was sold on its own. He is a solid, the feet are wood. He is pretty hard. I don't know if his entire body is wood, but I think his legs at least are wood. And then it's more of a cloth cover than fur. So, and then it's kind of got like a vinyl aspect to it. So I don't know the age on this. The one that I found listed said it was German. There was an antique German. Amelia, yeah, you're right. I didn't notice the red eyes. Yeah, so we got the hangover horse. They said it was German. I don't know if they knew that, but that was the one that had the pull toy. So maybe the pull part had something else on there. I just thought he was sweet. He still has the little harness. He's got the blue at the top, and then I don't know all the pieces of a horse, all the rigging, but red, blue with the white. So they said he was German. He kind of looks like he's dressed for America for me. I don't know the age. I just know what I paid for him. Put him into the production. He sat in a box. Barely anyone even noticed him. And now he's back. So I'm selling him again. And he's $20. So $20 for at least the vintage horse, if not going into close to the antique level horse. $20 by giving me number 66. $20 for the wooden horse, 66. Ooh, Lucifer Morningstar had it. Now, I know Lucifer Morningstar from the television show Lucifer. That's his name there too. So I could say it's a little happy for the horse of Satan, but the red eyes do kind of give him away. Oh, so what kind of brooches you got going tonight, Nate?
Sorry, what was that, Patrick?
What kind of brooches are you selling tonight?
Mainly more modern. Some big, flashy pieces. There's a couple of really big, flashy pieces there.
Oh, nice. With stones, all metal, or?
Val is picking up number 66, Patrick, by the way.
Thank you, Val.
Pretty much all of them have some sort of bling on them in varying degrees. There's a couple that are pretty blinged out and special.
If you want to find the horses of Satan, I'm sure they're here in my home. So that's better. No good place as any to find them. And Nate will be selling on Miss Pamela's channel, Pamela Blanchard, in about an hour. He will start. So my sale will be done by then, so everyone can hop over. Oh, hi, Debbie. I missed you. Hey, missed you coming in. Everyone will be able to jump over and join the sale with Miss Pamela, and Katie is hopefully going to be available for that one.
Hi, Debbie.
I had mentioned that we tried to do a couple YouTube drop sales. I'd done some IG sales. This is a piece that had popped up in one of those sales, and to be perfectly honest, I was surprised it had not sold. It's a glass powder box which has been wheel cut. So it has the etches, and I say etch, but it has the cuts going all the way around. These are dug into the surface. They're not just surface etched. All the way around the little oval shapes. And then I put this with some age because I do believe that is the aestheticism movement, which puts it into like the 1880s, 1890s. Glass is hard to date because you can make glass today the same way you made it 200 years ago. But the designs would change. And that kind of has a bamboo look to it. What do you think, Nate? What would you say on age and design?
It's really hard to say. As you said, even the etching and shapes of pieces stay in vogue for decades and decades. Although that smoky color might be an indication of its age. Is that American? Do you think that's American made, or?
I'm going to guess it's American made. There's no mark that I can tell on the bottom. I don't think you're able to see anything, but you can see the rings of how it would have been pressed.
Yeah.
So I do not believe this wasn't a blown piece, although the top has an indentation in the top that I think is still molded, but I'm not sure how the handle was attached to the lid.
It's just a beautiful piece. Smoky gray popular? That the 50s or?
That's a great question. I do not know. I don't really see this that often because you're right. And I'm glad you pointed it out. It's not clear. I find a piece of paper and maybe hold it, go behind it. It is not clear. It is a smoky, and I don't have a piece of clear to. Let's look at my pop. You can see that there's a difference in the depth in the color of this. It's a gray. So I do not know the answer of when that was popular, but it's in perfect condition. There's no flea bites. There's no cracks. There's no chips. It's a really nice size. I think it would have been a lady's dresser set, like a powder box, just based on its width and its depth. But maybe it's just a trinket dish. Beautiful piece. Again, I got it at a reasonable price, so I'm passing it off at a good price. It's $10. So $10. That was the price I was selling it in the last sale, and it didn't sell. So $10 for, and all of this is a wheel cut as well. For the wheel cut glass powder box, $10 by giving me number 63.
Yep.
Yeah. So Eclectic thinks it's looking older too. I just feel that design made it look older, but it could be from the 50s. I don't know.
The more I look at it, the more I think that it's a 40s, late 30s.
40s.
Piece. Yeah. So pretty. I love that gray color.
Yeah, you can see it really, the best you can see is like right there in that handle.
On the handle. Oh, Tiger is picking up that. That's a great get. Hi, Jan.
All right, great. Thanks, Tiger. All right. Now we've got, and Nate probably knows this, but we're going to do our trustees terms. What, if this is being used as a planter and it doesn't have a drain hole in it, what is it considered? What's it called?
Jardinier?
This size, I think, is too small for a jardinier, but that's a good guess.
Then I have no idea.
I was going to say go French, but I guess jardinier is French too.
It looks like a sucre.
LWPO she's got the first half of it. It's a cache pot or a cache pot.
Oh, so I've never even heard that term before.
So a cache pot, and the reason would move into that category because it's a bowl. I mean, you can just say it's a bowl, but in its proportions, it's way too tall for its width to be a serving dish. So if it's a serving dish, this bowl would be bigger at this height, or if it was eating, it wouldn't be as tall for this width. A cereal bowl would be probably about half that size. So usually, and you can use them for whatever you want, but we're gonna edumacate. The cache pot is a bowl that is the decorative wrap to an actual plant. So when you've got like the cheap planter you get from the grocery store or whatever, the little plastic, you put it into something like this. You still water it. It drains the soil and pulls the water into here. And then you can lift the plant out and empty the water so that it's not sitting in water. It's literally just a decorative piece. This is another piece that I am going to go on record to say this is 19th century. And we'll see if Nate agrees or disagrees. And everyone in the chat, they agree or disagree. It is transferware.
Yeah,
but
that's 1880s, 1890s.
There you go. We're in the aesthetic movement again. It's this idea that it looks a little of an Asian motif. We've got the flowers, and the aestheticism movement was decoration for the sake of decoration. It was making things pretty. So you've got a beautiful scallop design to it. It does have a painted rim, a gold painted rim. And then these are not hand painted. These are transfer decals that were put on. And the giveaway is the one that I showed. When they put it on, there was a crease when they put it on. So it actually lost some of the transfer piece.
It's interesting that Meliar suggested a waste bowl. And that is very, very similar in that sort of dimpled design. There was a time in England and in Europe when with a tea set, there would be what was called a slop bowl, which you would empty the dregs of used tea into. And every tea set,
interesting.
A monk jug, a cream jug or a monk jug, a sucre, a teapot, coffee pot, and there would be a slop bowl, which would be ever so slightly bigger than the sugar bowl that would hold that waste tea in between.
All right. Well, there's another option. It is unmarked, which again also kind of matches the date that it's older. That's another option that I'm not familiar with. I'm familiar with finger bowls, but I don't know what kind of waste bowl a tea set would have because this seems a bit big. And Tim, cash po is, you got the cash part right, and it's P-O-T. It's like cash pot, French, cash po. And yes, Jan was helping you out there as well. So it's just a sweet little bowl. They're not particularly rare for as old they are. They're not particularly rare because they were typically a decorative piece, so they didn't get a lot of use. They just sat pretty to protect your plant. So if you look for them, you'll find this design is not uncommon, and it's that addition of that frame that just moves this from just being a simple Victorian floral piece to moving into that, just what Nate identified, getting into that 1880s, 1890s. It was called the aestheticism movement, which was still part of Victorian era, overlapped the East Lake era. Like they all start overlapping with each other. But that rectangle, that square through the flowers is actually a pretty common design. And I'm selling it for $10. So you can have a true antique, whether you want to wrap your plant in it, you want to dump your tea dregs in it, or you want to use it as your kid's puke bowl. It is $10, and you can have it by giving me number 41. $10.41 for the 19th century cash po. All right. Move away from porcelain and breakables into something easier to ship.
Sandy would like that number 41, Patrick. That's a great get, Sandy. It's a lovely item.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece, Sandy. And like in some cases, for those, there are a couple names that I don't recognize as much. Like my whole thing is I want these things to go to a good home. So a lot of times I'm saving them. They're going to be thrown away. They're not being taken care of. I love doing paperwork for the papers for that same reason. I'm not going to make a ton of money on this. I have a day job. This is fun. So I'd rather give you guys a good price and make sure you're giving it a good home. The next piece I do not drift into very often, even though Trusty and Rusty and Crusty all rhyme. I don't get into this as much. And again, Katie's not here to judge my find, so you guys have to do it. It is a tin, obviously, with Queen Elizabeth II on it. So Nate, we're going to do a pop quiz because... How old do you think she was when this was done?
That looks like one of her coronation photographs. And that I would say then that makes that 1952 or 53 when she was in her early to mid-20s.
So you think this is actually from coronation, not from one of the jubilees?
I mean, it could be.
I honestly don't know because I don't know what she looked like at all the different eras.
I mean, it could be from a jubilee, but I would imagine if there was a jubilee piece produced, there would be a more contemporary portrait put on it.
Okay, so this is one of her coronation portraits. Yeah. Okay, it does have the Elizabeth Regina II ER2, so it does have that on the side. So it would make sense this could be from her coronation. It is. Pardon me while I get my cheaters on here. Kaylee Cranford wrapped chocolates. I have never heard. Oh, hey, Stephanie. I have actually never heard of Kaylee Cranford wrapped chocolates. So it says this souvenir tin. So I had assumed it was a jubilee, but you're right. It could be coronation because it says right on here it's a souvenir tin. The souvenir tin is filled with Kaylee Cranford wrapped chocolates. AJ Kaylee Limited, Norwich. 1 pound net weight, including immediate wrappings, made in England, but there's no date. So that was why I was a little bit unsure.
I've just found it online, Patrick, and it is dated as a 1953 Kaylee Cranford wrapped chocolate tin.
All right. Excellent. I don't do tins that often. I do have some in my collection, but this one I thought would be a fun one to sell here. I got it at a really good price, so I'm selling it at a really good price. And Nate can tell me if I'm stupid or not, if he just found it online. What's the one selling for online?
The one selling online is on Etsy, and it is priced at 53 New Zealand dollars.
So that's like what, 35 American dollars?
Yeah, let me do a quick translation. 53. It's selling for $34.
I just kind of amazed myself that I did New Zealand transition that quickly. But okay, you're getting a really good deal because I'm selling it for $8. So $8 for the Queen Elizabeth tin. Hey, when I get a good deal, I'll pass it off as a good deal.
I've got to tell you too, Patrick, the example on Etsy looks really ropey in comparison to your one as well.
So I've had people tell me they buy stuff from me and then resell it. Well, you guys want to resell it? I'm perfectly happy selling this for $8. So $8, and you can get it for, give me $8, whatever, 34. 34 is $8 for the coronation tin. And did I mark? Yeah. Okay.
She was
also had hoped.
She was 27 buying space when she became queen. And it looks like
Oh, see, I thought she was younger when she became queen. I thought she was like literally like 20 or 22.
I thought she was a bit older, younger as well, but I've just looked it up. She was 27.
27. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And a great beauty. She was an incredibly attractive woman, as was her sister, Margaret.
It looks like we had a couple people trying to claim that one.
Yep, I've got Karen Dondelinger as getting that. I think that's a fantastic buy. Karen, you've stolen that from Patrick.
No stealing here. I'm perfectly happy to have it go to a good home, and I know Karen's going to take care of it, or she'll resell it, and I have no problem with that. So, staying in the tin category, this was another one that I was bringing in for Katie. If you follow Katie's channel herself, or if you've caught some of our videos together, she collects typewriter ribbon tins. This one's fairly run-of-the-mill. It's a design that she already has. It does have a cute little beaver up in the corner. Super superb. The MB Cook Chicago.
Oh,
recording the history of the nation. Even if you don't,
Patrick, I think I'm sorry. I think that I've actually got buying space as being picking up number 34 before Karen. Really sorry, Karen, but buying space did actually grab that item before you. There were several comments in between, and I missed the first one.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you're right. That was very early.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So buying space. Congratulations. Sorry, Karen. I'm sure buying space will give it just as good of a home. So buying space, I don't know if you might have had a different name before. I don't recognize your name. So I do apologize if I've forgotten it. It has been a while. Just make sure you send me an email to the email address on the screen with your shipping information so I can get you an invoice to it. It's pretty lightweight, but I can't ship it in a bag. So it's going to have to go. It probably is less than a pound though. So it can go US Postal Service. But thank you for pulling that out. I did not see that either.
Yeah, no, my bad. Sorry about that. Buying space. There was a few comments in between, and
yeah, it was weird that you're right because I'm like, wait a minute, I don't see it either. Yeah. But there was a lot of comments that fell in between, and then a group of them because then Karen, Jan, and Lori were all at the same time.
I think everyone must be lagging really badly, except for buying space.
Yeah, so congratulations, buying space has the internet connection of the day. So anyway, these, even if you don't collect them, these are just great little tins that just hold just about anything. I've got a couple of these that are holding different things within my desk. Like, I've got one that's holding paper clips. They're just great little containers, and that's exactly, if you watch the video that Katie and I did, that's kind of why they started developing more artistic designs. This one's still fairly advertising based, fairly industrial, still sweet and absolutely fantastic condition.
Fantastic condition.
They started doing them with flowers and nature designs because the companies realized, oh, these are awesome to just hold things. So they started making them with designs that you would want to put in your living room or bedroom. This one probably still stays in an office, or like Katie, collecting advertising, or if you've got an advertising collection. It's a great lightweight piece of tin. This can go in a bubble mailer, and it's a relatively common design. Once again, I picked it up at a good price, so I'm passing it off at a good price. I'm selling it for $6. $6. You don't sign these for $6. So this one's it's $6 for the MB Cook Company tin by giving me number 47. $6, 47 for the Cook tin.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, Kathy at Kitschy Cat. Nice to see you.
Hello. Sorry, Kathy. Didn't see you come in. All right. Back to something breakable, because that's what I do. I'm a glutton for punishment. I have an absolutely awesome piece. This actually, again, falls in the category, just like that little powder dish, falls in the category of I don't understand why this did not sell the last time I offered it.
Oh, is this for mayonnaise, Patrick?
It is. It is a
Yep.
mayonnaise or sauce, depending on how you want to do it. Some people say mayonnaise would be on a pedestal. This one is footed. So
I love
it
it.
is.
Ladle. Wow.
And I almost never come across a 3-piece set. So this has the underplate, the sauce mayonnaise bowl, and the ladle all have the matching hand printed designs.
This must be an American thing, because I have never seen that before I came into this sort of community. Never.
Oh, really?
Never. It was so unusual to me, and they're so pretty. They're just so pretty. But we would never have mayonnaise in a thing, or sauce would be in a gravy boat or something like that. But
this could have been a salad dressing. It could have been mayo. It could have been any combination. The underplate, really, if it were standing alone, you would think it was just a bread and butter plate. And it could be a bread and butter plate. But because it's part of the set, the 3 feet of the bowl, there would not be an indentation like a coffee cup or a soup bowl. This one just has the rim that sits. So it just sits flat in here. These get separated all the time. So you'll sometimes find these decorated plates. Now, the plate does not actually have the Nippon mark on it. So the bowl has the hand-painted Nippon with the Morimura Brothers M in the wreath, and the ladle has the matching. But for whatever reason, the plate did not. And that was fairly common when you started getting into place settings. Sometimes the dinner plate had it, and some of the smaller ones did not. So it could be merit from a butter plate, but I do believe it's designed to be the underplate. What did you say, Nate?
So having Nippon on it am I right in thinking that's prior to 1912?
Correct.
1912, and after that it was Japan, or actually Japan, and then at some stage later made in Japan.
Yes. So 18. Okay, it's hive mind. Everyone has to remember our dates now. 1892. I think, is when America required imports to be marked with the country of origin. Yeah. So I think it's 1892 or 1888, but I think it's around 1890. That was when things had to be marked. So if things are not marked, it could have had a paper label on it, but that's somehow how it's like this one. It's how you can start identifying things could be older than when the mark was required. Japan decided to call themselves Nippon, which means land of the rising sun or something like that, which is the equivalent of Japan. There's some argument about whether Nippon means Japan. I don't know. But they started marking everything with Nippon. And there are a ton of Nippon stamps. When you see, hope I put it in the right order, when you see the M in a wreath, that is the Morimura Brothers mark from that era. Morimura Brothers became Noritake. So that also dates this fairly early. In 1912, I believe, was when they edited the law to say it needed to be in the English alphabet in the name that America recognized. So that was when you would start seeing Japan instead. So Nippon just closes the window because you would never have seen it before the law kicked in 1892. And then when it changed. So you've only got like a 20-year window that you will find these. And the color of the stamp, I have books on it. I didn't go into the detail on this one. The color of the stamp, the way the M is put into the wreath, the fact it is an M, because at one point later it becomes an N because it becomes Noritake. You can start. I love date stamped porcelain. Like it becomes really easy to say, yep, this was made on a Tuesday in a certain day. You can't quite get that level of detail, but you can definitely date this. And this is at least a turn of the century piece, plus or minus 10 years. So yes, correct, Jan. Anything marked Nippon, unless it's a fake, which there's no real reason because Nippon doesn't necessarily make it valuable. If it says Nippon, it will be over 100 years old because by law, it had to change in 1912. Now there might be some pieces that kind of like in the teens floated around where some companies were still selling old inventory, so you can't get too hung up on it. But yes, they would definitely be considered. And so it's Janice saying Japanese Nihon. Oh, okay. That's news to me. I mean, I've heard people say that Nippon is what Japanese call Japan. I've not heard the reference of Nihon, Nippon. They had to make something that made it easy for us to recognize. There's also some story that they said the reason they did it was because even at the late 19th century, and I don't know if that was a Russo-Japanese war, there was concern that the American or the American audience would not like things made in Japan. Now that definitely be a case in World War II, but I don't know what do you know? What's your history lesson, Nate? What would have been the reason Japan wouldn't have been well received?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, Japan was a closed country for
hundreds of years, yeah. And I think it opened in early 1800s to the west,
early to mid, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the exact. Yeah, but I don't think we were ever at war with them. So I don't know why they just didn't say Japan. Like every other country just said the country.
I know that the early days when Japan did open to foreigners, that there was a great deal of civil unrest towards foreigners that were coming into the country.
Okay. So we could have been seeing bad stories about it as opposed to personal. Okay, that makes sense.
It wasn't a step that was universally agreed upon by people and enjoyed by the Japanese people. So there could well have been some feeling of lingering distrust from two generations before of the treatment of Europeans in coming into Japan.
So I flipped the numbers. 1921. I said 1912. So it was 1921. So thank you.
I thought it was 12 too.
So okay. So that would be your window. And also, be it in fairness, Japan wasn't the only one that did it. There were items coming out of Austria that said Österreich, which most Americans would not have known that meant Austria, but that's the German spelling or pronunciation or whatever of Austria. So during the Austro-Hungarian Empire, their stuff sometimes was marked Austria, but sometimes it was Österreich. So it wasn't just Japan trying to sneak under a law. It was just, hey, I need to put a stamp on this, and they were just stamping it with what they knew. So anyway, thank you, Amelia, for looking that up. Those are dates that I should keep at the top because I like that era, but I don't tend to do a lot with. Hey, Vinny, I don't tend to do a lot with Nippon. So this is just an absolutely beautiful piece. It is no chips, no cracks. Even the ladle handle has never been snapped off. So this is a fully matched set. I offered this in one of the drop sales, and I'm selling it for the exact same price here. I'm selling for $20. So $20 for a 3-piece matched set of antique Nippon porcelain. You can use it for whatever you want. $20, and you can get it by giving me number 39. $20.39 for the 3-piece sauce set.
I have any.
So nobody took the tin, correct, Nate?
The second tin, no, I don't think anyone took that.
Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I was rambling there for a minute. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Let's go into, this is a piece. I was just talking to a friend of mine who had been purchasing, another pop quiz. Although, Nate, I don't think you're going to know this one, but maybe people in the audience do. Name that artist.
Oh, Whistler.
No, we're later than that.
No, I've got no idea.
So this is, zoom in. This is a Wallace Nutting piece.
Nutting.
So Wallace Nutting was big at the turn of the century for hand-tinted photographs. So photography existed at that time. Photography dates back to our Civil War. He was taking black and white photographs and hand coloring them. As it moved forward, this piece, you can see right at the edge of the rug, there's a copyright. The photographs became prints. So this became a much late. This is a later piece during his life, still his lifespan, because that is his autograph, his signature. So W Nutting. Sometimes they say Wallace Nutting. They are always named. Usually the name is on the art itself. This one does not give the name, but I looked it up. Again, this is the piece I mentioned earlier that Google Images is a lovely thing because this is the treasure bag. So this is right up Nate's alley. That woman has got her little treasure bag and she is opening it. All nutting prints they're either landscapes or they're interiors of some sort of colonial era styled home. But again, these are the turn of the 1900s, not the 1800s. So it's kind of recreating an older lifestyle. They're beautiful pieces. They were, and the friend of mine, he was interested in selling some of his pieces. He's paid over $200 for some of his. Unfortunately, they haven't retained that value. Some of the originals that are still have some value. Sometimes it's because of the original frame. This one is in its original frame. This copyright has, I want to say this one is 1913. I have one that's 1914 as well. I think this one's 1913. But this is, you can see like how engravings are done. You can see there's a indentation in the paper because they pressed this into the paper. So this is not a photograph. This is a print. Still collectible, still popular if you like that design, but not as valuable as they once were. So we're no longer in the hundreds, we're in the tens. So you can get them for next to nothing. Very good. I like that. And in this case, you are because you get the original frame. You can see somebody tried to open it up to see what they could find in the backing. It's got the original wire, probably done in the teens, if not the 20s. This one, so you're still getting an antique print, hand signed by Wallace Nutting in its original frame, and you're getting it for $20. So you got a beautiful piece of framed art. It's not particularly heavy, but it will go priority mail with one of those flat. The mailers is the right size for this one. So it will go priority mail. But it's $20 by giving me number 53. So Wallace Nutting, the treasure bag, $20, number 53.
Hi, Heather.
Hey, Heather. And Katie's in the chat. Hey, Katie. All right, before we wrap up, I've got a couple items left. I want to make sure we're done in time for Katie and Nate's and Pamela's sale. One of the things that I'm doing is, you've noticed a lot of these are smalls. A lot of these are somewhat indescript things that are just harder to sell on eBay. I'm trying to be more active on my eBay channel and do some sales that way, because I just don't know how often I'm going to be able to do live sales. So one of the things that I'm still want to do are mystery boxes. So what I'm going to pull together is some of the smalls that I have that I've not listed, have not sold through my live sales. I will put them into a box, and I'm selling mystery box for $25. So
okay, Patrick, 53, Val M would like 53 before you move on to the mystery box, bud.
Thank you, Val. You get the nutting treasure bag. Excellent. And I will find a box that fits both that and the horse. You like to make my life difficult, but I'm sure I can find something that'll hold both. So we'll be good. So we're going to do a $25 mystery box, and typically you're going to have at least $50 worth of stuff put into it to make it fun. So $25. If you want
to have more than one,
no, just got the one.
Just one. Okay,
just one. And we're not going to guess the number. I'm just going to tell you the number. So $25, the first person that gives me number 91. $25, 91 gets the mystery box. And discuss amongst yourselves. I need to grab that slip that fell under the table. Okay. That brings me to some ephemera of my own. This is, again, I'm trying to group things together, trying to clear some inventory to get my arms wrapped around my life. I have
Diane Carter would like the mystery box at number 91.
Thanks, right. Diane. Thank you, Diane. You get the mystery box. I have a set of, and Katie's in time. I'm sure we could find some fun Jello recipes for her in the What Makes Jelly Gel. I'm sure there's some fun stuff in here for Katie.
Horses
Let's see. Let me put on my cheaters and see what disgusting thing we come out. Okay, how to make jam. That's boring. How to make jelly. Wintertime fruit spreads. Jam covered recipes. Okay, these don't actually look bad. These all look like desserts. The jelly trio. Well, this actually looks like good Jello recipes. Oh, it does look like they're making Jello shots here. So, really good one there. All the photographs of the different equipment to make jelly, make jam. Lesson 5, the jam cupboard recipes. So you've got orange juice jelly, pineapple strawberry jam. Okay, that actually does sound a little disgusting. Surprise pastries, but I have a feeling there's not like ham in the surprise. It's just pastries. So anyway, so it's the jelly book or gel. What makes jelly gel book? 250 delectable desserts, recipes for good eating from Crisco, and the wine cookbook. Ooh. So all of these, this one even has Made in the Union label down at the bottom. These are all getting into vintage recipes. The wine book has, it's from San Francisco, California, but it has the single digit zip code. So that means it is prior to 1963. So we got kind of a 1950s. The Crisco one has 1945 is its copyright. The 250 delectable desserts from the Culinary Arts Institute. She's looking a little old fashioned. That is copyright 1940. And the What Makes Jello Gel, which I'm assuming is from this company. Certo and Sure Gel. I'm assuming that's who put it out. It is copyrighted 1951. So all of these are 40s and 50s. I'm selling all 4 of them as a set for $10. So $2.50 each to get your own little instant vintage recipe cookbook collection. $10 for the set of 4 by giving me number 85. $10, 85 for the 4 cookbook recipes. All right. These I'd actually offered multiple sets of these. I've got doilies. I had all kinds of linens for the last show that I did because we soiled them often. So they had to be washed after every show. So we always had extras. So this is a pair of doilies. I do not know how to tell handmade lace from machine made. This is lighter weight than most lace that I've seen, but I think it's still machine made. I don't know if anyone knows the tricks to it, but the flowers are just too uniformly done. So I think these are machine done, but it's the pair. I can put these in a regular envelope and ship them for regular first class mail for under $1. And it is $5 for the pair. $5 for the pair by giving me number 49. So Vinny's asking for whatnot. And I have thought about it. That's as far as I've gotten. I've thought about it. I've watched a couple of sales that were early on. Admittedly, they were early on, and I didn't feel it was the right fit. But I know a lot more people are doing it, and so that might be something. But the one thing that I hesitate to do it is if I've got to take all the photographs to set up my store, then I might as well list it on eBay. So I just have to figure out what makes more sense to do in a live sale, what makes more sense to do in a whatnot live sale. Because I'm not doing auctions here, maybe I could do some auctions there and make, sell things for more money, but I'm happy selling for lower prices. We'll see. So that's good though, that you said you are having good luck there. Cause I've talked to a couple sellers about it, and I felt the jury was still out, that some were doing well, but others were not necessarily convinced it was the right place and that the market needed to grow. That basically more people needed to get into it in order to make it a dedicated. Because even when I pop in, it's like, oh, I should see what's going on. I'm not interested in baseball cards. I'm not interested in some of the stuff that they are put into the vintage category. So it's just one of those things that I'm not sure the fit, but it's something I'm thinking about. So I'm glad you said that you liked it. And then the last item for the evening is I showed these on Sunday. I picked up a set of these little glass dishes from the 1964 New York World's Fair. And thank you, Poodle. That's exactly it. I don't want to extend into something new if I don't think I can maintain it. So I need to kind of figure out my schedule here with live sales and then figure out how I want whatnot to fit around it. I picked these up. There was a set of 4. And I picked up the set because the other 2 showed the Unisphere from the World's Fair. And I have a collection of globes and travel. So I'm keeping those. So I don't care that I'm breaking up the set. So I'm still keeping these together as a pair. So they're just small little pin dishes. I guess you can use them for change, but not a lot of change because you see they're relatively shallow. Maybe you want to use it as a salt dish, but you're probably going to scrape the artwork off of it. They're just decorative dishes that I think are super sweet from and Stephanie's saying you can get good deals. You can get good deals on whatnot because there aren't a lot of competitors, not a lot of people fighting for what you want. So as a reseller, I'm not sure. I don't want to start something. I think Niche Lady starts all of her stuff at $5 there. Now on YouTube, she starts it at $1. So I do feel that's telling. But it's dangerous because you could then, if people don't fight for it, you could sell something for less than it's worth. So I don't know. But anyway, this is a pair of these little glass dishes. I don't think these were marked on the back, but like House is one of the companies that did them. There are a couple companies that were known for these. No, I don't see a copyright on here. It does say something on the very bottom. If you guys can see it. Something down there in the corner. I think it's the copyright. 1961, maybe?
Yep.
And then I can't tell what the letters are. Okay. So anyway, what it says right on here, it's from the World's Fair. So this one's the monorail, and this one was what does it say? Says something. All right. Why would they do this? Some sort of a building. Heliport building. Oh, there's a helicopter above it.
Oh, cool.
So 1964, I guess that's not that surprising, but it's a cool looking building. But you can see there's like a marine type helicopter up above there. So anyway, it's a pair of these little glass dishes, and you get the pair for $5. So $5 for the pair of glass dishes for the 1964 World's Fair, New York World's Fair, $5. That gives me number 72, $5.72, and you get the pair. I was just reading Nate's other. I have to stop myself from going to Whatnot sales because I can spend some dinero. Yeah, I don't need any help spending my money.
Patrick, Buying Spaces asked if you've received their email. I'm not sure if you're able to check while you're live or not.
I do have it. So yes, I have it. Thank you very much.
And I see Tiger for number 72.
All right, great. Thank you, Tiger. I can add that to the glass powder dish that you purchased. So you just have a big old breakable box coming your way. All right, and that was actually everything that I had. So if anyone wants to see anything else, and just making sure, so I did not see a buyer for the Hotel Silver from Texas. I do not show a buyer for the Nippon set. I did not see a buyer for Katie's Ribbon Tin or the doilies or the cookbooks. So if I missed anybody, definitely let me know. But those are the items that I showed that did not sell. So it is 8:10. I finished early. We've got plenty of time to chat before Nate has to get all nervous about being on a live sale.
Oh, that's already happened.
And I did see Katie was at least in the chat, but she's probably double tracking, making sure that she's also getting ready for the sale. Because what we just did in basically an hour by the time we actually started, and me talking forever. That's what I do. The ribbon tin is $6, Karen. I only sold 15 or listed, showed you 15 items. Katie and Nate are going to crank through. What did you say? 35?
Yeah, 34, 35.
34. So
probably 32.
I'm sure Katie will keep them on track and make a lot faster than what I do. But I like people were saying, they learned some things about Nippon. That's what I like to do in my channel. I don't want my channel to be just about selling. So I always want to have something else there. And if I only go through 15 items, I only go through 15 items. I'm totally fine with that. It looks like Karen is picking up the ribbon tin.
Yep. Great get, Karen.
And that'll be a nice lightweight item to ship because unfortunately, you ended up not getting the Queen Elizabeth tin. So it'll be a nice lightweight item to ship. Do you have the link to Pam's channel? Buying Space is asking. Oh, there you go. And Nate just dropped it for you. So the channel, because you're going to lose the link when you go away. Her channel is Pamela Blanchard, and you should be able to find it that way. If you do, she's the only one I think that pops up. So Pamela Blanchard is the channel going into. She does her regular sales they still on Saturday nights, Nate?
Yeah, because
it's your Sunday.
My time,
yeah. So I think it's on Saturday nights because she's in
Alabama.
I knew she was in South, but I couldn't remember. So she's in Alabama. So she's on Saturday evenings. So Pamela Blanchard, definitely want to find her channel. Katie does sales on her channel as well on occasion. So she's vintage and vinyl. So she is here in the chat as well. We didn't catch her in time to join the live chat, but she's at least in the chat here, and you can see her on Pamela's channel. And hey, follow Soul Nate too. Soul Nate's got some great stuff in his own YouTube channel, showing some of his collections, and he has some amazing collections. So he begrudgingly has started a collection of tobacco tags because Katie and I forced it upon him. But hey, that's how collections start.
Yeah.
So I'm curious for anybody else in the chat, because Stephanie made a comment about it. Vinny made a comment. For people that enjoy these live sales, if you're doing Whatnot, what do you like about Whatnot, and what do you like about Whatnot that might be different from what you see in a YouTube live sale? My functional problem. Have you played around with Whatnot yet, Nate?
Yep. I've been on Whatnot. I must admit, I like the speed at which the lots are presented and sold. I've been to several auctions where they start every lot at a couple of dollars or $1, and they put either 15 or 30 seconds on the clock. And it makes for fast-paced and quite exciting and enjoyable sort of atmosphere.
Okay. That's good to know. My fundamental problem with both Instagram sales, which I've done a handful of, as well as I've never done an Instagram live sale, but I have posted on Instagram, and what I've seen on Whatnot is I'm looking on my little phone and I can't see anything. Like if I'm looking at something and I want to see if there's damage, if I want to see like copyright, whatever, you can't really see it. Yeah. So, and that's just something I just need to get over, I guess, because
also the chat, the small portion of the chat that's visible obscures. It's over
right.
the items as well. I know you can swipe left or right and remove the chat or reestablish it. But you're right, it is a small screen. And I think a lot of that depends on the setup that the sellers happen to have, or the quality of their devices that they're actually projecting from. That can make a huge difference as well. But, they have the same issues with challenges with focus on items as every YouTuber has. That camera just wants to pick up something in the background and make that item in the foreground quite fuzzy.
Now, Tiger's saying there's an app for that you can actually use it on your computer, which I did not know you could do. So I know that Instagram you can get around that, but I didn't realize that Whatnot allowed you to do that because I feel the same way with Instagram. Some of the popular channels were doing like 4-seller events. You're like a quarter of an inch wide, like, and then the comments start flying past it. You can't see anything. So that I almost have to do it on my computer, but I didn't realize Whatnot had an app, or it's maybe still glitchy, but it's good to know that it's there, because it's like that is one of the things that keeps me even from supporting my friends that are using it. I just don't want to, like, as it is, I can barely read the chat without putting on my glasses. I certainly can't do it on a tiny, tiny phone. So Val does it on her computer as well. So, okay.
I mean,
So she had saying that
the app that they have for the laptops may be glitchy, but the basic app for the phone is still glitchy as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So I've never heard this term. Have you seen any of these, Nate? The junk drawer sales?
Yep.
50 items on the table that you can't see. So then what are you doing? You're just saying, I want the green glob second from the left? Like, what are you doing? How do you buy?
Basically. And often, a good seller will pan around their items really slowly and really steadily so you can get a better idea, and then you can request, I want this, or can you show this, or can you show that? I lucked out on one sale. And George has always said that you look for the thing that doesn't fit, look for the thing that's different from the others, because the vendor might not know what it is, they might not value it. And I was in one Whatnot sale, and in this shop they had a Japanese Damascene cigarette case in the shop, and I saw it there, and I asked the host, if they could show this item, and she dutifully got the item out. She put it on the in front of the camera, and then she ran it for $5, and I bought it for $5 because no one else was interested in it. And every one that I've seen online goes somewhere between $80 and several $100. I'm not sure what makes one an $80 one and what makes one $100 or a $500 or an $800 one. But there are certainly bargains to be had there, and I was very lucky in that instance.
So something that's great for a buyer, but maybe not necessarily the best outlet for a seller.
Possibly.
And the other thing that I'm really struggling with, and this was something Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop and I had a chat about. We did a drop sale, shop hop drop sale. Beth from Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties and I have basically been alternating hosting these shop hops one a month. And I coerced, strong-armed Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop to participate once. And afterwards, he's just like, yeah, I'm not sure that this is something I particularly want to do, because he was spending all the time shipping everything, getting everything done. He's like, if I'm going to put that much time into it, I might as well list it. Oh, hey, Beth. I might as well list it on eBay. From a seller's perspective, it's like, it takes just as much work to ship an item that you sold for $100 as an item that you sold for $5.
Exactly.
And that's the struggle, that I enjoy doing this. And I'm thrilled that, somebody's maybe going to get this Queen Elizabeth tin for $8 when it could sell online for 30. But I'm fine getting the 8. Maybe it'd be nice if 30, but I get frustrated watching auctions if I don't want to participate in it. I get bored, so that's why I don't do auctions here. They're boring. But that's just me. Like, everyone's got their own approach, but I've been chastised by sellers. Like, oh, you could have gotten more money for that, or you should do it as an auction. I just want to sell. I just want to have fun. So, and hopefully people come to me because I've got good prices. Yeah. Nothing else. I'll take that. I'm trusty. But if I start going to Whatnot and everything's selling for $5, that's a lot of work. Especially if I take photographs of everything. The benefit to the YouTube live sales, I can basically pull it out of the bag, which in some of these cases is what I did, of the estate sale or the garage sale or the Goodwill, or wherever I went, and just show it to you. And if you buy it, great. I just flipped it for X number of profit, and I'm perfectly happy with that. If I'm going to sit there and take photographs like of the things I do on Instagram,
you don't actually have to, Patrick. A lot of the sellers don't take photos of the items that they.
I thought that was a requirement. I thought there was there's some sort of store or something.
There is a store.
Have it.
There is a store, and you can take photos and place them. But I've seen plenty of sellers who either have nothing in the store and they just type that item in when they're about to run it. And I've had people and that have like brooch 1, brooch 2, brooch 3, brooch 4, brooch 5. They pick a brooch, they select brooch 1 in the store, and they pin it and sell it. There's no real description about that. I've also heard about sellers who have spent a lot of time in loading up their pictures, and all of the pictures have disappeared by the time they come to the sale.
Oh,
So that's a bit of a whatnot glitch that they may or may not have already solved. I don't know. But I do know that
I'd be hunting somebody down at that point.
Yeah.
All right. So it's one of those cases at this point, I barely have time to do anything, but I'm not doing any theater, and my heavy travel schedule doesn't happen again until next month. So I have like a few weeks that what I'm going to try and do is figure this out. So I've got some items that I want to put up onto eBay. There are a couple items that didn't sell tonight that we'll see if those go well on eBay. Or someday they may end up in a mystery box. I have no idea. But mystery boxes don't seem to be as popular as they once were. So I think people everyone spent their money on mystery boxes. I know people are spending money on whatnot. And I think Tiger said that's kind of what the junk drawer stuff is, kind of like a mystery box. Hey, it's all about having fun. Yeah, I like making money too, but I want to have fun while I'm doing it. So we're running a little bit out of time. So I'm just going to wrap up with a couple of things. So one, I put the link back on the channel. So this is what's coming up in 8 minutes. We'll be on Pamela Blanchard's channel. Will be Nate's sale. So he and Katie will be over there with Pam. Also, what's coming up, if you do follow me on other social media, these are things that we keep in mind. This weekend, I am participating in the Paper Nerd sale on Instagram. So it's hashtag Paper Nerd 34. They do about once a month. I don't participate in all of them. It's another case where in order to do it, it's a static Instagram sale where it just goes into the post. It's not a live sale. It just goes in as a post, and you claim in the post. I've spent hours taking photographs to do a huge number of listings in there to then have them not sell. So then I've got to be like, okay, I just spent all this time doing it. Then at least I have the photographs. I can then put them onto eBay. But sometimes what I'm putting into there is stuff that probably won't get found on eBay because it's not a popular search term. So it's always a balancing act. So anyway, I will be putting a handful of things on the Paper Nerd sale. This will be one of them. This old 1940s program. That's one item that I have already had some photographs taken of. And I'll be doing some vintage magazines. So there'll be some different paper ephemera going into that. And then at the end of the month, Beth is here as well. She and I'm hosting it, but it's her idea. On August 28th. August 28th, there will be a shop hop again. At this point, I have 8 channels participating. Vintagerous, Dolores from Miss Damn Jewelry, Fatbird Finds, myself, Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties, Mary from Ancestor and Ancestor, Mimi's Treasure Cottage, and the Antique Nomad. So we'll see. I left it open for a couple more days to see who else wants to join, but that'll be Sunday the 28th. So it'll still be YouTube content, but that's not live. And what I discovered is those tend not to get viewed as often. So, trying different things, seeing what works. And we're coming into the fourth quarter. Everyone's got to buy their Christmas gifts, or any other selective holiday gifts. So maybe we'll see things pick up, and I want to be organized in time to do that. So thanks again, Nate, for joining in the chat. Thanks. Good luck tonight with your brooch sale.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and thanks everyone for joining in the chat. So I probably will not be back next week, but who knows? Maybe I will. But I don't. These are definitely not going to be weekly anymore. I need to have a little bit more variety. And my alarm's going off. It's 8:25, so we're going to stop. So you got 5 minutes to go grab a drink, use the washroom, and get back in time to find Pamela's channel and buy some brooches from Nate. Thanks everyone for joining in, and we'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye, everybody.